talk about the Emmy nominations?
Ooh, baby. It's a bonus episode, folks.
Yeah.
Just released today. Today is Wednesday. Wow, yeah. I just did not know what day it was. Holy Santa Claus shit. And you sent this to me today, and it is like, I mean, we'll dive into it. It. A lot to be expected, and some I didn't expect.
Yeah. But through it all, I think the rule here is we'll go over it. We have opinions, but what I'm curious about are our initial picks, and then we can revisit this when the Emmys actually happen.
Okay, I'm so bad at this. Okay.
Do you want to bring us in? You want to kick it off with?
Sure. So we are referencing the Hollywood Reporter list. So if there are any mistakes, 'tis not our fault.
Yeah,
I was
just saying off the air that I was trying at our office to print out the 50 pages of nominations, which never even printed, but.
Incredible.
These are predominantly the ones. I mean, I know there's like the Emmy, the main show we get to see telecast, which is like the top awards.
Yeah.
And then there's like the industry ones that we don't really get to see that happen. So these are a combination of like the ones that everyone cares about, and then the deeper dive ones. We're going to work our way up to the, like just like the Emmys do.
To the big
ones.
kahunas.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with exceptional merit in documentary filmmaking. And I'm embarrassed. I haven't seen a single one. But the nominations are The Accused, Damned or Devoted from PBS, Aftershock from Hulu, Last Flight Home on Paramount Plus, and The Territory on National Geographic.
Yeah, I will say I don't know any of these.
This is embarrassing.
Great way to kick this off.
This is embarrassing because I do want to know, right before we started recording this, I was watching a documentary. I am not a fucking idiot.
Yes.
Have you watched a documentary recently?
I love documentaries.
Okay, good,
absolutely.
great. Because we have never done one on this podcast.
A good point. Yeah.
And I think maybe we should, because this is showing us how not well versed we are in that world.
We do
you even know what any of them are about? I don't.
I think we just move on.
Okay. I hope whoever wins really has a nice time.
Yeah. Congrats.
And next we've got Best Hosted Nonfiction Series or Special. Mm-hmm. Nominations are The Light We Carry with Michelle Obama and Oprah Winfrey. That was on Netflix. Mm-hmm. My next guest needs no introduction with David Letterman on Netflix. Yeah. Stanley Tucci, Searching for Italy from CNN. Taste the Nation with Padma Lakshmi?
Yeah, Lakshmi. I think, yeah.
On Hulu, and The United Shades of America with W. Kamau Bell from CNN. Yeah. But I have seen ones on this list.
Yes.
How about you? All right.
I have. And for what it's worth, I think what's funny about this, too, is with the ones that stand out to me, by the way, are David Letterman and Stanley Tucci, two guys who I feel like in this category especially, they're doing things that they're really passionate about. Stanley Tucci going in Italy, doing that, and then David Letterman, and it's really funny to me because David Letterman almost historically was like not a great interviewer when he did The Late Show, and he left that, and then he came back to do another series for Netflix where he interviews people, but he only interviews the people that he wants to talk to.
Yes, and he was on the Dak Shepard podcast, and as anyone would, Dak Shepard's losing his ever-loving shit because he's super excited about it. And he starts talking to him about this. And David Letterman actually owns up to a lot of the shitty interviewing he has done.
Really?
And as a female, I know definitely more within the last couple years. But, I mean, he was notorious for making young women uncomfortable on his show. Yeah. Like, if there was a sex tape to be spoken about, he was speaking about it. If there are boob implants being speculated, he was asking. And not in so many words, he does say that, this next phase of his life is only because he wanted to do it. He felt like there were questions he never got to ask really important people that he wanted to ask. And I've watched a bunch of these episodes. I don't know if you have, but it's really beautifully done. And there's a specifically, don't make fun of me, but the Kim Kardashian one where she talks about being robbed at gunpoint in Paris.
Yeah.
He is so endearing and kind to her, and I've never seen that side. It was a beautiful interview.
Yeah. That's the thing too, is that, look, we were always a Letterman household. We've talked about that on other episodes of this podcast. I will say, for context, right, the season of this show for David Letterman was 6 episodes. It was Billie Eilish. To be clear, the episode released May of 2022. It was the Will Smith interview. Cardi B, Ryan Reynolds, Kevin Durant, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus was those. So
I watched the Billie Eilish one, and he was really sweet to her with her Tourette's, and she was having tics, and he was like, was that a tick? Is that okay that I asked that? And it was, again, a side of him I had never seen. So I do know about the others. United States of America is supposed to be absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So that is on my list of things to watch. It's in my watch list already. And The Light We Carry, again, is supposed to be really beautiful. I don't know anything about Taste Nation.
What?
Do you?
Oh, no, Taste the Nation, no. But I mean, Padma is always, straight out of Top Chef, right?
Yeah.
I have a, unredeemed, I don't know if that's, I'm saying this wrong. I don't know how the English language works, but I have an immense amount of respect for, and I'm not going to even try to pronounce her name, but no, I mean, I haven't seen it, but I have a lot of respect for her as a human. So I'll leave it there. I kind
of feel like David Letterman's going to take this, or the Michelle Obama and Oprah Winfrey one, because they both got a lot of FaceTime.
I will say my favorites on this list are Stanley Tucci and David Letterman.
My favorites too.
Yeah.
But are we picking our favorites, or are we picking ones we think are going to win?
Yeah, that's a good. I mean, look,
that's different.
I think, Michelle Obama, Oprah Winfrey are, easily Oscar bait. So
agreed.
Yeah. But I can also I can also see them giving it to David Letterman.
I mean, my man.
Who am I kidding? I don't know.
He's got enough. He's got enough.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think you're right.
So does Oprah.
If I was voting, it would be my next guest needs no introduction. If I'm thinking about who's going to actually win, I would say The Light We Carry.
Okay, that's great. Let's move on to the next section. Take it away, Tom.
Yeah. Okay, so this is Best Documentary or Nonfiction Series. We have Dear Mama from FX, 100-Foot Wave from HBO Max, Secrets of the Elephants from National Geographic, The 1619 Project from Hulu, and The U.S. and the Holocaust from PBS.
I have watched The U.S. and the Holocaust, and that is it, and it was beautiful. Which is heartbreaking, but it was
funny
beautiful.
You say that, because I was about to say too, Hulu and Netflix and all these other networks have been doing all these real deep documentaries, and the OG documentary network of PBS, how was that one though? How was the U.S. and the Holocaust?
It was beautiful. I mean, awful. It's awful, but beautifully done.
Beautiful documentary.
Horrible.
Yeah.
But beautifully done. I mean, seriously, and your wife and I talk about this immensely. I am a PBS stan obsessor. My mother was a PBS mom, so we were PBS kids.
Did you have the tote bag?
No. We did have the Marlboro camping bag, though. The camping sleeping bag from Marlboro and the Marlboro tent.
We had the Marlboro tent.
She was also a Marlboro mom.
Yeah, we had that. we had the Marlboro tent and the Marlboro cooler.
Yeah, and we had the sleeping bag, and going to sleepovers when you're a kid who shows up with a Marlboro sleeping bag, chill as fuck. It was wonderful. I've heard great things about The Secrets of Elephants. I am also, as I've probably shoved down everyone's throats, obsessed with animals to the point where I just watch those things, though, and I fucking cry. It can be 5 hours. There's the Animal Planet where it's just the babies on Netflix. Yeah. I just cry. I put it on. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to cry. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure who's going to win that one. I would, let's give it to the OGs, National Geographic or PBS.
Yeah.
They've been doing the damn thing. All right.
I'll give it Secret Life of Elephants. People love animals. So
I love them.
That'll be my pick. The next category, though, I'll let you take it, but I feel like this one has an easy standout. But go ahead.
Okay, so the best documentary or nonfiction special, we've got Being Mary Tyler Moore from HBO Max, Judy Blume Forever on Prime Video, My Transparent Life Prime Video, Pamela, A Love Story on Netflix, and Still, a Michael J. Fox movie from Apple TV+. Yeah. I have watched Pamela, A Love Story. I cried so hard, that poor fucking woman.
Really?
What we put her through. It was awful. Yeah. And I've also read her book. It is beautiful. I mean, what do you think? I'm thinking it's Being Mary Tyler Moore.
Oh, really? I was going to say the Michael J. Fox.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you see it?
No. So did you?
No, I didn't see it. It's been on my list, but this is one. I mean, this is the one that he produced.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's winning.
Yeah. I mean, as it came out, everyone, like, first off, nobody dislikes Michael J. Fox. He is universally loved.
I mean, come on. Yeah. Obviously.
So I don't foresee him potentially losing that. 99% Rotten Tomato score, by the way, just to throw that out.
I think that we are planning. We're hanging out in person up in the mountains here next week, and I think in our kiddie pool we should live stream Back to the Future. I have a projector, and we'll do the podcast episode that way. Okay, we're going to get electrocuted. Yeah, because I'm voting we do this in a kiddie pool. But no, you're right. Everybody loves Michael J. Fox, and if you haven't seen Pamela: A Love Story, it's fucking heartbreaking. Yeah. I will say, for what it's worth, My Transparent Life, I've seen a lot of ads on TikTok, ironically enough, for that one. And being Mary Tyler Moore, I knew about that one and love Mary Tyler Moore. This is not an objective who I love more, especially when it comes to Pamela Anderson, Mary Tyler Moore, or Michael J. Fox. But I will say, I remember in some interviews and stuff, Michael J. Fox talking about how much effort he put into doing the documentary and how he wanted to do it right. I want him to win then. Yeah. So it wasn't just like, hey, let's throw a documentary together. Like, he was like, if we're going to do this, I want to do it the right way. It's going to make me cry. And it's, I'm going to go watch that one pretty soon. But that's my pick for even the Academy. I think that's the one that's going to get it. So. Okay. Next up, we have Best Guest Actress in a Drama Series.
Yeah.
Hayam Abbas. Am I saying that one right?
We'll go for it. Yeah. A lot of these
from Succession.
They're all Succession and The Last of Us.
I only know one of them on this list, who they are in the shows. Really? Cherry Jones from Succession, Melanie Linsky from The Last of Us, Storm Reed, The Last of Us, Anna Torv, The Last of Us, and Harriet Walter from Succession. I know who Melanie Linsky is in The Last of Us, and she was great.
Okay.
Who are the other two?
I'm a visual person, and I'm also an idiot. So for my sake and the audience's, let's run down who these people played in the shows, because especially Best Guest Actress in a Drama Series, and it's only 2 shows that are nominated, by the way. It's just The Last of Us and Succession, split right down the middle, 3 and 3.
Okay, no, this is good. I'm doing this.
Okay.
Hayam Abbas. I'm so sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. It's probably beautiful. It's Hebrew. Is the OG wife of the dad in Succession.
Was she the OG wife? Oh, no. Okay, you're talking about...
Yeah, what's her name? Come on, we can do it.
Oh, man, I'm not going to get it.
Come on.
I'm not going to get it. What was her name?
Okay. What the fuck's her name? Hold on, I'll get it. Marcia.
Marcia, yes.
Marcia.
So, Marcia Roy. So she's the one from, when you say OG, you mean like from season 1, episode 1.
From season 1. Yeah.
That's his...
she was incredible. So
she was. Then we have Cherry Jones, she's the one who was like from the left-leaning network, right? Like the one they were going to buy. Like she's the owner, like she's like the opposite of Brian Cox. Like she's the owner of like the pseudo MSNBC-esque kind of network.
Yes. She's like the mom, and she invites them all to her house in the mountains, and she's got the perfect family. Yes. Okay.
And then
got it. She was great too.
She was. And then I always confuse her. And now I got to figure out who the hell she was in that show. Harriet Walter, is she their original mom? She's the mother of the Succession kids, right?
She is. Yes.
She's the one who's like, mom. Don't eat
with
his
the accent.
cheese.
Yes. Okay.
Right.
Already. All right. So that's Succession.
And then Last of Us, I didn't actually fully watch Last of Us. That's a commitment.
You're an asshole. It's so good.
I know.
Melanie Linsky's amazing always. So I love her.
Yeah. What else?
She's married to Jason Ritter. I mean, come on. You're married to Jason Ritter. You didn't know this?
Oh my God. Even funnier. Do you know who she was married to before? I'm learning this in real time, by the way.
Jimmy Simpson.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm looking at her IMDb. That's why I know this.
I am very happy to trade places with her and marry all her husbands. As a straight heterosexual male, I would easily cheat on my wife with either of her husbands or ex-husband.
I can't believe you haven't watched Parenthood, because Jason Ritter in Parenthood is fucking primo.
I swear I did watch that show, but I have no recollection of it. And my wife has no recollection of us watching it, and I watched it because she had me watch it. So it's a weird...
Rewatch it. It's beautiful. Yeah. I'm obsessed with it.
That show apparently lives in like a black hole or something.
It's incredible.
Who was Storm Reed?
Storm Reed is the girl that Bella Ramsey is friends with.
Her best friend.
Falls in love with. Yeah, her first love. Okay.
Where she has the flashbacks in the mall.
Yeah, and she was great. She was fucking killer. She was so good.
And then Anna Torv.
I'm doing a lot of copy paste here, guys.
Blonde lady from
Okay, yeah, from The Last of Us. She is the Pedro Pascal's like right hand in the beginning of the show.
Okay.
She ends up kicking the bucket and blowing herself up with the zombies. She was also great.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a pretty strong best guest actress list. And
for sure.
Pretty much the two same shows.
I'm thinking Hayam wins it, though. She was out of control.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
She was so creepily dedicated to him. Yeah. Even in his worst moments. Like, it was very good.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. I'm going to go with your pick, too. We tend to agree in general, but yeah, I'm going to go with her as well.
Okay. Next up.
Right. Here we go. Best
More
guest
names
actress.
We don't know. Oh, I know two of them.
Well, for what it's worth, I mean, I notice a few of these. This is best guest actress in a comedy series. Which, funny enough, do you see what I'm seeing? No. Harriet Walter is also nominated in this category. So, best guest actress in a drama and best guest actress in a comedy.
Good
Harriet
for
Walter.
You.
Who played the OG mom. Please don't eat his cheese from the fridge. Was also on Ted Lasso.
Was also Rebecca's mom.
Oh, that's who she was.
Yeah.
Okay, I was about to think that. Okay, thank you.
She's funny.
Okay.
She's very funny in this.
Okay, she's up for nomination. Sarah Niles from Ted Lasso.
Who's that?
And Becky. Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to guess. Oh, that's the therapist.
I want her to win.
And then Ted's mom, Becky Ann Baker, also nominated for Ted Lasso.
Okay.
Then from Poker Face and from Who's the Boss, Judith Light, nominated. And Taraji P. Henson for Abbott Elementary. And this one, I don't know how I feel about. Not about the nomination, just to be clear, it's more about the fact of this category for that show, but Quinta Brunson for SNL, which I'm like, I don't know if you get a best guest.
She's so fucking
comedy.
Funny, though.
Yeah, no, admittedly, yes. But at the same time, I feel like SNL's like a cheat code.
Yeah. Okay, so if I'm going to pick for this one.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm going to think out loud
Abbott
for
Elementary.
Yeah, I mean, Taraji P. Henson in general, I mean, but I will say, I haven't seen Poker Face. It's been on my list.
Either.
But Judith Light is old stable. I feel like the Academy in general tends to vote in the favor of, actresses or actors from the past who kind of have a resurgence in their career, like a second coming of their career. We haven't seen Judith Light in, 20 years? Except for like some small roles and some other little things here and there, like, Lifetime.
I think I've seen her in a couple Lifetime Christmas movies.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, except for like Lifetime Christmas movies.
Yeah.
But I will say, if I was, to your point, to play this game, my money would be on Taraji P. Henson, but I'm also with you in like I would have loved to see Sarah Niles win it for.
Oh God, I love her so much.
Yeah.
Her character was so complex and beautiful, and I loved it. And I'm very excited for this next category because I know all of them.
Oh yeah, this is another one where it's all Last of Us in succession.
Yeah,
what a shocker! Like there was no other drama. There's no other drama series that played out this year except for The Last of Us.
It's so crazy, and I know. Here's the thing: I know that you're not a Game of Thrones fan. I know it's fine.
Sorry, I apologize.
It's fine. It's one of the best shows that have come on television the last 20 years. But why would you watch it? But guys, for the record, he probably would watch it, but he would not enjoy it.
Yeah.
You would watch it to say you watch it. You would not enjoy it. Yeah. But it's shocking to me that there is none of House of the Dragon guest actors in here because there were some pretty good guests. But that's okay. I really like this list.
We had The Last of Us The Last of Us and Succession, there wasn't any room for any other TV show to have any other awards. So
we've got Best Guest Actor in a Drama Series, Murray Bartlett with The Last of Us, James Cromwell, Succession, Lamar Johnson, The Last of Us, Arian Moayed, Succession, Nick Offerman, The Last of Us, and Kevion Montreal Woodard, The Last of Us. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know if you watched it, but the scene between Nick Offerman and Murray Bartlett.
Yes, I was going to say.
I was going to say they're beautiful.
So our sister podcast, In Sync, did an entire episode on the needle drop for that scene. So I watched a little bit of The Last of Us. I scattered all around. Like I watched the end of the series, I watched the season, and I also did watch parts of this episode, including the most important parts. But I think it's hilarious that both Murray Bartlett and Nick Offerman are both nominated. So only one of them could potentially win.
Only one of them can win. And it's even funnier to me. Don't you think it's crazy that Murray Bartlett, I mean, what a year for him, first of all.
Yeah.
But for the role that they played in this, they're both more comedic actors. For them to be nominated for such a serious, like really serious scene.
And for context, by the way, just again, because we at least have the benefit of looking at photos and stuff. Yes. Murray Bartlett was also the concierge, is that the title from the first season of White Lotus?
White Lotus, yeah.
Yeah. So if you didn't know him from this, you might know him from
Takes the shit in the suitcase. Just know that about him. For nothing else.
Yeah. A spoiler alert for the White Lotus. He's the one that dies. He's the body. So, but I will say, like, again, I scattered all around The Last of Us. Kevion Montreal Woodward, he's the kid who gets infected, right? Is that who he is?
And that is awful. It's really awful.
In a word, it's awful.
It was well, let's just talk about that for a second, because it's super interesting. Do you know anything about that storyline? Because I know you didn't watch it.
I know. It's really funny. My wife, and I don't know if I'm the only one. I don't know if your fiance does this to you, but my wife fully explained to me, like I had the audiobook version of that entire scene, because my wife explained to me the entire episode. So
he is deaf. The young man that plays this character, and in the show also is deaf. And the scene was done incredibly. Like just his whole, I think he's over the course of 2 or 3 episodes, I believe. Yeah. And he was out of control good. Yeah. He was like, it's annoying when you see someone that young be that fucking good. He's probably like 10, maybe. I think he's got a chance.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, and by the way, we haven't even really put a dent in this list, so we got to pick up the pace. But I will say, I have an easy one. And again, I'm taking a step back, looking at it strictly from how is the Academy going to vote? Nick Offerman. That's going to be my pick.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm
who's
going Kevion Montreal Woodard.
All right. Mark it here.
A deaf child actor who like stole the show? I hope it's him. And I mean, we are a Nick Offerman household. We even have posters whittled from Mr. Offerman himself, signed books. We are an Offerman household.
I'm going to tell you right now, I agree with you. Nothing would make me happier to just tend to see that kid come on stage.
You know this world better than I do, so.
But
I trust you.
Okay. Let's move on. Best guest actor in a comedy series. This one's a little bit more diverse. John Bernthal. I can't pronounce. Bernthal. Thank you. From The Bear. Luke Kirby from The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Nathan Lane for Only Murders in the Building. Pedro Pascal for Saturday Night Live. Oliver Platt for The Bear, and Sam Richardson for Ted Lasso. I will throw out there that my personal favorite is easily Sam Richardson, because I love Sam Richardson. So, I'm not saying that's the pick. I'm not saying that's the one that's going to win. But if I had my pick, if no one else could vote but me, Sam Richardson, just because he's him. I don't even care what he's in. I don't even know. Forget Ted Lasso. Just Sam Richardson wins for being Sam Richardson.
For the Buff Babies.
That aside, what are you? What's your?
I haven't watched it, but I've heard, maybe we can do an episode on this later on, but I've heard Only Murders in the Building is a great show.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched it. And I've also heard that Nathan Lane kind of steals the show. So I wouldn't be shocked if he wins, because he's kind of been out of the game a little bit in like mainstream television.
Yeah.
Who do I want to win? In my underpants, Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, I was going to say.
For this category, Sam Richardson. That's easy.
Really? You think?
His character on Ted Lasso was so fucking ridiculous, and the fact that he recurred in the third season and just everything about it was insane. The fucking food, the food fight, the freak out, very well done. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Nathan Lane though.
I mean, what's funny too, I'll throw a whole curveball here and say I really enjoyed Oliver Platt and the Bear. Loving him in the new season. We're going to get around to that.
Yes, we are.
Love Oliver Platt in general. I always liked Oliver Platt. That said, my guess for who they're going to vote for would be Pedro Pascal. Even though I'm going to say it again. SNL being in this category is a cheat code. I don't think it deserves to be here. It should be there should be a whole other category of guest in a comedy.
I agree, because then there are some really great like Jimmy Fallon guests that come on and do really funny shit. So I agree with you on that one. Very, very much so. Okay. Best host for a game show. Mayim Bialik for Jeopardy, Steve Harvey for Family Feud, Ken Jennings Jeopardy, Keke Palmer Password, Pat Sajak Wheel of Fortune. I'm picking Steve Harvey every goddamn day.
Show me.
Fucking love Steve Harvey.
I'll say two things. Number one, I didn't even know this was a category. That's news to me. And number two, keep in mind, Pat Sajak did just announce he's retiring. So
okay, let's give it to Patty Boy. You deserve it, man.
Yeah, I've learned a little bit about Pat Sajak in the last week or so, though. Do
we hate him? Guy Fieri was just ruined for me this week, so might as well ruin Pat Sajak too.
Yeah, I mean, don't Google his thoughts on certain things, but
okay, great, won't do it.
Okay,
all right. Although Mayim Bialik has been doing a really beautiful job with Jeopardy, I think. That
is, by the way, I don't know if you know this. That right there is an extremely controversial opinion.
I know. And our guest host Kyle and his lovely better half Sandy, big Jeopardy fans, and I'm very interested to see what they think about that comment, because I'm guaranteeing I will get a text message.
Just to ask the controversial opinion, by the way, Mayim Bialik or Ken Jennings.
I know.
Not for this category, just in general for Jeopardy. Just to engage for our social media so people can fight over it.
Okay, so what do you think? Let's throw a poll up. We're gonna throw
Ken Jennings. I'll say Ken
Jennings.
Oh,
you gonna piss off? You gonna piss people off?
Sorry. Next one's me, right? I got it.
Yeah, it's you.
So, best host for a reality or competition program. Oh boy. I don't know how this isn't one person. This is a list of people. I think this is a single nomination.
Let's just say RuPaul, always, duh.
Well, I was going to say, so it's Bobby Burke, Karama.
I love that. I love Queer Eye. The Queer Eye boys. You can just say that.
Yes. Okay. The Fab Five, is that it?
Yeah, they're incredible.
Okay. I don't have to say all their names. The Fab Five for Queer Eye. Nicole Byer for Nailed It.
I love Nicole Byer too. This is a hard list. Never mind. I'm taking it back. I love everybody.
Padma for Top Chef, Amy Poehler and Maya Rudolph for Baking It, and RuPaul for RuPaul's Drag Race. I don't know. I mean, Amy Poehler and Maya Rudolph do an amazing job at everything. Although also, no, I mean, I won't blame her. We talked about it in the last episode about the UCB stuff. But I think Nicole Byer, I mean, if I had to make my pick of who deserves it, I would say I think Nicole Byer made the best impact with Nailed It.
I think so too. That got viral because I think of her hilarious commentary to that show.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. And what is being a best host, right? So I would say, my personal opinion, I think Nicole Byer deserves it. As far as who is going to win, I would put my money closer on. I think it's a toss up between Amy Poehler, Maya Rudolph, and no, I'm going to go with that. I'm just going to stick with that. I think that's what they're going to pick. Again, to be clear, I am picking, throwing out my personals plus who I think the Academy's going to vote for.
Pick Baking It.
Nailed it. No, I pick my personal opinion is Nicole Byer. Who I think the Academy is going to pick is going to be Amy Poehler and Maya Rudolph.
Fair enough. Okay. I was going to say my personal pick would be Nailed It. I think that they will probably pick Amy Poehler. Or, I don't know, Padma Lakshmi is getting a lot of press right now. So, toss up there. Okay.
Yeah.
I just think maybe we skipped this next. No one's watched any of this shit.
Excuse
You
me?
have?
Yeah.
Best.
Best variety special?
I skipped way up. I skipped way up. Okay. Hold on. Let me scroll back down.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is
Here we
best
go.
variety special pre-recorded.
Where am I? Oh, I'm on the variety list. Oh my God.
Geez. Okay.
Because I was Googling people's names. Okay.
Yeah.
We're back, folks.
Okay.
Okay.
What do you got?
Best variety special pre-recorded. We've got the Carol Burnett 90 Years of Laughter and Love on NBC, John Mulaney, Baby J on Netflix, Lizzo Live in Concert, HBO Max, Norman Lear, 100 Years of Music and Laughter on ABC, Trevor Noah, I Wish You Would on Netflix, and Wanda Sykes, I'm an Entertainer on Netflix. I have seen all of them except for the Norman Lear.
Let me tell you something about the Norman Lear one.
Not because I don't want to. I would love it.
Yeah.
I just have not watched it yet.
Where
can you watch it if you don't have cable?
It might be on Hulu. That's your best bet, probably.
Okay.
But I will say, first and foremost, we which maybe that's a documentary we do. I mean, it was a variety special, but there's some documentaries about him too. Maybe we find one just to do it. Norman Lear, just like, you want to talk about ally in the world, that man, Jesus Christ, that man. Norman Lear is an amazing human being. I think he fully deserves it. I will say, also going in the list, Carol Burnett was fantastic. I will say, it wasn't my favorite John Mulaney special. I didn't think it was the funniest, but as far as, obviously, it was very heartfelt and I thought, personal.
Yeah, agreed. It was different comedy from him, but I thought it was nice.
I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I liked it a lot. In general, I would say my personal pick would be the Norman Lear one, but I'm going to say...
Damn it, I didn't see it.
I'm going to say I think they'll vote for... I don't know. That's a tough... What do you think? While I'm thinking this through.
My personal choice would be Lizzo Live in Concert. It was so good. Probably because I'll never be able to afford to go see Lizzo live. I think they're going to pick the Trevor Noah, I Wish You Would.
That's the one I was staring at Trevor Noah and Wanda Sykes, and I was leaning into Trevor Noah. So,
both of them were great.
Yeah.
They were both good.
Okay.
But yeah, I think Trevor Noah. Yeah. Okay. Best variety special live. Right?
This one feels boring, but
it feels really
for what
boring.
It's worth, I just say that because it's like, how do you really vote for these? Best variety special live is the Apple Music Super Bowl halftime show starring Rihanna, Chris Rock Selective Outrage, Elton John Live, Farewell from Dodger Stadium, the Oscars, and the 75th Annual Tony Awards. First and foremost, the Oscars, Tonys, I don't think they typically win. It could be wrong.
I'm going to pick the Tony Awards because Sean Hayes won for Goodnight Oscar.
Okay, so yours is
I didn't watch it. I have no idea. I watched the Elton John. I haven't watched Chris Rock, and I watched the halftime show. So good luck, everybody.
I mean, I would put my money on... I'd put my money on Elton John Live.
Okay.
I would say, I mean, the Chris Rock thing was also like technically, because I mean, again, you're not voting for Elton John. You're not voting for Chris Rock. You're voting for the actual like broadcast itself. That was like the first time Netflix had done anything live, and they were like going through all kinds of technical crap at that point too. So I don't know how well that plays out. But that said, Elton John is literally retiring, and he gave a farewell show.
That's very true. He deserves it. We love us some Elton.
Yeah. They're not going to bring him on stage, but I can see that.
Yes.
Happening. But this one's a small category. You want to take this one?
Sure. Best scripted variety series. We've got a Black Lady sketch show on HBO Max, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver on HBO Max, and Saturday Night Live on NBC. I will say Black Lady sketch show, fucking hilarious. Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, always funny, always does
wins.
great. Always
wins this category. Yeah.
Saturday Night Live has had a pretty fucking big year, though. There was some lull years where they didn't really have any sketches go viral or things that were like circulating. I think that my boyfriend, Pedro Pascal's, really helped. And
and it was a short season. Keep that in mind because the WGA strike for both Last Week Tonight and SNL.
So I don't know. I think John Oliver always wins, but I would like a Black Lady sketch show to win because it was very good. It was funny.
Agreed. Best game show. Again, why is this a Family Feud, Jeopardy,
Are you
Price
kidding
is
me?
Right? That's my jam, and Wheel of Fortune. I don't know. I'll
Let's
go
say
with
Jeopardy. They've been through a lot.
They have. I was going to say, honestly, in my opinion, I think The Price is Right. I think it was their last season in the studio they were in since the beginning. But Drew Carey, amazing. This is for the show, not the host, obviously. Actually, that's a good point. Why wasn't Drew Carey nominated for Best Host for a game show?
I don't know. And you guys know how I feel about Bob Barker. I've shared with everyone that was my dream as a child to be a Bob Barker babe.
Yeah.
As they called them, Bob Barker beauties. I didn't know that. I've got a real love for Price is Right. I spent a lot of time homesick as a kid, and The Price is Right is what I watched all day.
Yeah.
But that's a good question because Drew Carey's great.
Yeah.
Whose Line Is It Anyway, I think, is what made me want to be an improv comedian. I was like, I want to get on stage. I want to do that.
Yeah.
And then I found out it was scripted. Moving on. Moving on.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You want to... Oh, wait.
Best television movie.
Yeah.
Dolly Parton's Mountain Magic Christmas on NBC, Fire Island on Hulu, Hocus Pocus 2 on Disney+, Prey on Hulu, and Weird Al the Yankovic Story on the Roku channel. I'm just going to say right off the bat, I have a feeling Weird Al the Yankovic Story is going to win because Daniel Radcliffe is also nominated and it's nominated a lot. I have a good feeling about that. Huge Hocus Pocus fan. I didn't hate it like everyone else did. I'd do anything for Dolly Parton and she's fucking magic herself.
Yeah.
I've never watched Fire Island and I didn't watch Prey. Your turn.
I will. Yeah, absolutely. Weird Al, hands down.
Okay.
One of the best things I watched. I'm so happy they
Daniel
got nominated.
Radcliffe. He's incredible.
The movie itself was fun. It was a fun parody, and I've gone back and watched clips of it too. And I'm like, man, that was such a good movie. It's such a good time. Conan O'Brien shows up as in it to act like Andy Warhol.
So insane.
It's great. We gotta hurry this up. Best unstructured reality program. Jesus Christ. Indian matchmaking on Netflix. RuPaul's Drag Race Untucked on MTV. I'm sorry. I never knew the title.
My family, diehard RuPaul fans. RuPaul's Drag Race is like a love language in my family. When the family's all mad at each other, we can come together through RuPaul's Drag Race Untucked.
I just it's funny, just with all the shit going on in the world and everyone, all the angst and anger about all this stuff, to have the title of the show, RuPaul's Drag Race : Untucked. Just
incredible. Chef's kiss.
That made me laugh. I appreciate that. Selling Sunset, Vanderpump Rules, and Welcome to Wrexham. You loved Welcome to Wrexham, right?
Fucking loved it.
Yeah. You've
loved it.
On and off the air, you have recommended it.
I need you to watch it. I can't believe you haven't.
Yeah.
But I will say, a lot of fucking drama in the Vanderpump Rules world. I personally don't watch that. I have watched 1 or 2 episodes when it first came out because everyone's like, oh my God, it's just like you, a bartender.
Yeah.
And I'm just not a huge reality TV fan like that. I don't watch The Bachelor or The Bachelorette or anything. So I don't know. I think Welcome to Wrexham has a lot of star power behind it, but Vanderpump Rules has gotten a lot of traction with the drama that's gone on.
Yeah, I was going to say Welcome to Wrexham is a standout in the category just because it's so different than, especially the demo for who it's targeting. So I'm going to say it's probably going to be something like Vanderpump Rules. I'll just follow your lead there.
Okay, great.
We can move on. Go ahead. Best Structured Reality Program.
Antiques Roadshow, PBS, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, Food Network, Love is Blind, Netflix, Queer Eye, Netflix, and Shark Tank, ABC.
Yeah.
This is hard for me. Because up until 2 days ago, Tom, I was having a Guys and Dolls themed bachelorette party where you either had to dress up like Guy Fieri or Dolly Parton, or you could dress like a combo of both.
Oh, man.
And that is now canceled.
I was going to say, I'm going to, Guy Fieri. For what it's worth, I have stories that I am, and this is not a joke, I am bound by NDAs to talk about.
Great. I can't wait to get you drunk this week and make you tell me. MDA my dick.
But I will say, by the way, to be clear, it's about Guy Fieri that I'm not allowed to talk about. But I will say this: Love is Blind.
I'm going to make you.
For the radio, for this podcast, I have to publicly say I'm not going to tell you. But get me drunk, I'll be fine. Love is Blind. I feel like that's the one that everyone talks about. Even for me, my wife watching it, I'm like, oh, what is this? I feel like there was so much talk about it, so I'll throw it to that. I think that.
Okay. I love Antiques Roadshow, by the way. I fucking love it.
Yeah.
But let's move on. Best animated program. That's you.
Oh, yeah. Bob's Burgers for Fox. Intergalactic for Netflix. Gendy. Oh, man. Why do I get the tough ones to read? Gendy Tartakovsky's Primal for Adult Swim.
That was pretty good.
Rick and Morty for Adult Swim, and The Simpsons for Fox. My personal pick is, it's a toss-up. I will say, issues with what's his name aside, Rick and Morty has always been great. Bob's Burgers, I can't believe how many seasons it has under its belt at this point. In a good way, by the way, to be clear. Like
The Simpsons are time travelers. Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah.
We've got it.
I'm gonna throw out there. I'm gonna throw Bob's Burgers out there. I think that's gonna be the pick. My personal pick.
I'm gonna let you pick. Yeah.
My personal pick would have been Rick and Morty, but I would say, as far as who's gonna be the darling of the Emmy voters, I'm gonna say Bob's Burgers.
Okay.
So
great. I agree with you.
Nice buns, soft, fluffy, and ultra-low net carbs. Discover Hero Bread, the delicious ultra-low net carb bread with incredible taste and texture. Hero Bread has 0 grams of sugar and is under 100 calories per serving. Plus, high in fiber with 5 to 10 grams of protein per serving. Order from hero.co now and get 10% off your first purchase with promo code AH10. That's 10% off with code AH10. HERO.co.
bring us back to reality.
Best reality competition: The Amazing Race on CBS, RuPaul's Drag Race MTV, Survivor CBS, Top Chef Bravo, and The Voice on NBC. I don't know. I don't know. Again, I watched The Voice once because a guy that I had befriended working at the distillery that was a musician there was on The Voice. So we watched that whole season religiously. He did very well, by the way. Ian Flanagan. If you haven't heard his music, listen to it. But my mom really likes Top Chef. And I watch, that's one of those shows I watch clips of. I don't really watch full episodes. I don't know. I've got nothing here.
I'm gonna, if I had to pick one, and again, because for what it's worth, you realize a lot of Emmy voters are like us, where it's like, oh, I haven't seen any of these. I gotta pick one. For the fact that I feel like I've skipped it over enough times, and this is a full, like, this is, when you're filling out your Scantron, you're like, I don't know the answer. You just start filling out C for everything.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with RuPaul's Drag Race, just because we haven't given it love in any other category. So
perfect.
So there you go. There's one for RuPaul. But
all right, next step.
Best talk series. You have The Daily Show with Trevor Noah, Comedy Central, Jimmy Kimmel Live for ABC, Late Night with Seth Meyers for NBC, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert on CBS, and The Problem with Jon Stewart from Apple TV+. My pick, I mean, Trevor Noah hung it up this year. I'm going to go with Seth Meyers. I feel like even in watching other people critique late night television, he's been the tried and true, where I think he found his niche and has run with it and has just made it his own, especially as of late, especially post-pandemic in the past year or so. So I'm going to pick Seth Meyers, personal and assuming for the voters. Okay.
I'm going to go Jon Stewart. I think that he's done a lot of really important work and called out some really important people on his show and asked some really fucking hard questions. And he gets out there and gets his hands dirty. And the show has, I think, been kind of, people are like saying it's like Jon Stewart unhinged, but I think it's more Jon Stewart not having to appease normal cable television.
Yeah.
So I've liked it. Again, I that's who I personally would pick. Yeah. I don't know who's they're gonna pick. Yeah. I have no idea.
That's fair. You want to take us to the movies?
I do, and I do want to apologize for all the fucked up pronunciations about to happen here. Best directing for a limited or anthology series or TV movie. Beef from Netflix, Lee Sung-jin, directed by. Beef on Netflix, Jake Schreier, directed by. Dahmer, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story on Netflix, Carl Franklin, directed by. Dahmer, the Monster Story on Netflix, Paris Barclay, directed by. Fleischman is in Trouble on FX, Valerie Faris and Jonathan Dayton, both directed by. Prey on Hulu, Dan Trachtenberg, directed by. I think I just killed all those pronunciations. Nicely done, Amanda.
Bang up job. I don't know. What do you think?
I haven't seen Beef, and I know that's not great because everyone in the movie world is like, you need to see it. It's absolutely incredible. So I will watch that. I did watch, however, Dahmer, and it was, as somebody who is a true crime enthusiast, it was hauntingly good.
Yeah.
If you have not seen it, it was uncomfortably good. So I think what they did with that story, focusing on the victims rather than Jeffrey Dahmer, but also on, I mean, Evan Michael Peters as Jeffrey Dahmer. It's like permanently fucked up his brain, which is awful. And I feel so bad for him. And he's not acting because of it for a little while. But I don't know. I feel if I were to pick, I don't know the difference between who any of these people are.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling Beef's going to win.
So if I had, again, I'm putting on my hat. I got to stop prefacing it, but I'm putting on my other voters' hat, and I'm going to say, oh, man, I have heard good things about Fleischman is in trouble. And,
I have as well, yeah.
And for what it's worth, it's one of the shows on this list, not to discount the others. It's one of them on the list that has some unique directing. And so that's the only reason why I'll lean there.
Okay, perfect.
So, yeah.
You're up.
Best directing for a comedy series, we have, oh man, this is going to be so biased.
This is going to be bad. I already know who you're picking.
Yeah, Barry, directed by Bill Hader. We have The Bear for FX, directed by Christopher Storer. We have Marvelous Mrs. Maisel over at Amazon Prime, directed by Amy Sherman Palladino. We have The Miss Pat Show from BET Plus, directed by Mary Lou Belly. We have Ted Lasso at Apple TV, directed by Declan Lowney. Man, I hope I didn't butcher those. And then,
Declan, I think.
Thank you.
No, only because I saw the interview that we watched with, what's his name? Roy.
Oh,
Declan's in the interview.
And then Wednesday on Netflix, directed by Tim Burton. Man, I mean, first off, Tim Burton, big name in this. Amy Sherman Palladino got to direct for her show. But man, I mean, everyone has talked about it inside the industry and out. And he's such a likable guy. Easily Bill Hader. A personal pick and what I think they're going to vote for. I think Bill Hader has earned it. And if he doesn't, it is rigged. Because for what it's worth, I'm not being overly biased here. Again, not discounting any of the other shows too, right? Or any of the other directors, right? I mean, I feel like Tim Burton had been waiting to do something from the Addams Family for years. In fact, he was supposed to do the Addams Family back in the early 90s and didn't get to. And The Bear is great. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Amy Sherman Palladino, good for her. I'm happy she wrapped it up. And obviously Ted Lasso. But Bill Hader has put so much effort. We talked about it in the episode. It's like he's on another planet on directing, especially this last season. So anyway, I'm gonna go Bill Hader.
I can't disagree.
Yeah.
I would have said the same thing. All right. So, you ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Best directing for a drama series. We've got Andor on Disney Plus, directed by Benjamin Caron. Bad Sisters, Apple TV Plus by Deborah.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? Deborah Walsh. Yeah. The Last of Us on HBO Max, directed by Peter Hoare. We have Succession, directed by Andre Perique on HBO Max. Succession, directed by Mark Mylod on HBO Max. Succession, directed by Lorene Scarfia, HBO Max. And then we have The White Lotus, directed by our boy Mike White.
Yeah, I saw that. I have to Google something for a second to confirm my suspicion, but while I do that, go ahead. What's your pick?
Well, this is hard because Mike White really did something different with The White Lotus. It was very different. It's not, Succession, The Last of Us, loved them, but The White Lotus is very different. But
yeah,
I watched Andor. It's great.
Yeah,
but I don't really have a definite pick here.
I'll rescue you because I have.
Please do.
I have a justification.
Okay.
So I had to confirm that it was him because I remember it from watching some of the behind the scenes stuff. I'm gonna double down on this. Personal and Emmy. Succession, directed by Mark Mylod. Here's the reason why. In the final season, he directed specifically an episode that everyone talked about, and more importantly, the directorial style of that episode is one of the standout pieces of the final season of Succession, and that was Connor's wedding. Yeah,
that oneer is insanity. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go there. Right. And for what it's worth, and these two categories for both this and comedy, for Bill Hader at HBO and Mark Mylod for Succession, I will say both of them did a fantastic job, and I am actually noticing the directorial styles that they injected into the shows and why they stand out in this category. So if neither of them win, I'm going to throw a fit. But anyway, moving on, because I think we're halfway through the list. Best writing for a limited or anthology series or TV movie. You have Netflix's Beef. That's Lin Sung Jin. Fire Island on Hulu, written by Joel Kim Booster. Fleischman is in Trouble, written for television by Taffy Brodesser Ackner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have Prey on Hulu, written by and story by Patrick Eisen, and story by Dan Trachtenberg. Swarm on Prime Video, teleplay by and story by Janine Nabbers, and story by Donald Glover. Hey-o. And then you have Weird, the Al Yankovic story on the Roku channel, written by Al Yankovic and written by Eric Appel. So I am going to go... it's a flip of a coin for me between Swarm and Weird Al. So
I think that they are going to pick Beef.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. I mean, it's like beloved, and it's in that weird, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to go Beef because I said it first, and I don't have another pick.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. You want to go for a drama series?
I do. Best writing for a drama series. We have Andor on Disney Plus, written by Bo Williman. We have Bad Sisters on Apple TV. Teleplay by Sharon Horgan. Teleplay by Dave Finkel. Teleplay by Bette Bayer. And then we have your fave, Better Call Saul from AMC, written by Gordon Smith. Also Better Call Saul on AMC, written by Peter Gould. We have The Last of Us HBO Max, written for television by Greg Mazin. Then we have Succession, written by Jesse Armstrong. And of course, we're rounding it out with our bestie, Mike White, for The White Lotus on HBO Max, written by.
I was going to say, it's funny because between Peter Gould for Better Call Saul, Jesse Armstrong for Succession, and Mike White for The Lotus, all three shows that had series finales, and all three written by the creators of the show. Obviously, Better Call Saul had other creators, but Jesse Armstrong was the person behind Succession and The White Lotus. I'm going to honestly throw down, because I mean, The White Lotus, it's every season is built up to be a certain way, but there was something specific the way they closed it out. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know. I sort of insinuated The White Lotus had a series finale. It did not. I'm going to go with Jesse Armstrong for Succession.
I think you're right.
Got so much heat. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's who's going to win. That's it. Yeah. That's mine.
To be clear, by the way, personally, I like Better Call Saul better. If I had to really compare the two and been favorite shows, but I will say,
personally, like The White Lotus better.
Yeah.
Ooh, this one's good.
I know. Best writing for a comedy series. And there's a curveball in here, too. You have Barry on HBO Max, written by Bill Hader. You have The Bear on FX, written by Christopher Storer. You have Jury Duty on Amazon Freevee, written by Mekhi Leeper. Only Murders in the Building on Hulu, written by John Hoffman, Matteo Borghese.
Come on, you're Italian. It's Borghese.
And Rob Turovsky. The other two on HBO Max, written by Chris Kelly and Sarah Schneider. And then Ted Lasso on Apple TV Plus, written by Brendan Hunt, Joe Kelly, and Jason Sudeikis. I am going to say this is going to be controversial in my own home here. I'm going to go with The Bear, even though I personally like Barry. So my pick for who they're going to vote for is The Bear. My personal pick, Barry.
My personal pick, of course, is Ted Lasso. Tied with The Bear. I love them both equally.
Yeah.
I will say, though, what they did with Jury Duty, they've never, that is completely different, and it's blowing the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like Amazon Freevee, because we are all just streaming that all day long. But I truly think that what they did has blown up. I would not be surprised if it's that one that takes it.
Yeah.
But the bear was, oh man, anyone in the restaurant industry, we'll talk about it when we get to the episode.
I mean, that's the thing too. Keep in mind, this is season 1 of the bear.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm trying to put that in context. So,
yeah.
All right.
Okay.
You want to take us to
Best Supporting Actress in a Limited or Anthology Series or TV Movie? We have Annalee Ashford for Welcome to Chippendales, Maria Bello for Beef, Claire Danes and Fleischman is in Trouble, Juliette Lewis for Welcome to Chippendales, Camilla Morone for Daisy Jones and the Six, Niecy Nash Betts for Dahmer, Monster, The Jeffrey Dahmer Story, and Merritt Weaver for Tiny Beautiful Things. Niecy Nash Betts in Dahmer, The Jeffrey Dahmer Story is fucking incredible. Camilla Morone, she was good in Daisy Jones and the Six. And I have not seen Welcome to Chippendales, Fleischman is in Trouble, or Beef. But I've heard Tiny Beautiful Things is fucking amazing. Have you heard anything about it? But I've heard a lot.
No, I have not. Out of this list, I mean, the main ones that stand out as far as like stuff I've heard about was Beef and Fleischman is in Trouble. But no, I haven't heard anything.
All right.
Claire Danes is Claire Danes. I love Claire Danes.
Let's just move on.
We got to pick one.
Claire Danes is probably going to win. Or Juliette Lewis. They're both great.
Yeah. I'm going to follow Claire Danes. I mean, that's my pick
great.
For them. Best Supporting Actor in a Limited or Anthology Series or TV Movie. Murray Bartlett for Welcome to Chippendales. Paul Walter Hauser for Blackbird. Richard Jenkins for Dahmer, Monster, The Jeffrey Dahmer Story. Joseph Lee for Beef. Ray Liotta for Blackbird. Young Mazzino for Beef, and Jesse Plemons for Love and Death. I mean, this is kind of a stacked one. I'm going to say, just personally, and I didn't see the Dahmer one, by the way, to be clear.
Okay.
But Richard Jenkins, love Richard Jenkins. I've always loved Richard. I don't know how he was.
I think they're going to give it to Ray Liotta because this was his.
Posthumously.
Yeah.
No, I was saying for my personal pick. I love. Yeah, so yeah, I'll go with you. I think Ray Liotta. I think they'll throw it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for the record, Richard Jenkins in Dahmer is incredible.
Is he good?
He's really good. And the Blackbird is one of those things I haven't seen, but I've watched so many clips about it. I think I would love it. We're going to jump up to the next category because I've heard Taron Egerton in it is like mind-blowingly good.
Yeah.
So, okay. It's you.
Oh, it's me?
Yours? No, it's me. It's me.
Oh,
Just kidding.
It's you. Your turn.
Best Actor in a Limited Anthology Series or TV Movie. We've got Taron Egerton for Blackbird, Kamal Nanjiani for Welcome to Chippendales, Evan Peters for Dahmer, Monster, The Jeffrey Dahmer Story, Daniel Radcliffe for Real Al the Yankovic Story. Weird, The Al Yankovic Story. Michael Shannon for George and Tammy, and Steve Yeun for Beef. Now, I will say this. I love everyone on this fucking list, like every single one of them. I think Evan Peters is going to win.
Really?
He was that good.
Yeah.
He was that good. But if I were to choose, I don't know. Actually, Taron Egerton might win. Have you watched any clips of Blackbird?
I have not. But at the same time, too, I'm almost surprised you're skipping over Daniel Radcliffe.
I love Daniel Radcliffe. I want, in my soul of soul, he wins everything always.
Yeah.
But Evan Peters was haunting. Like truly, I don't get affected by television. I was haunted by him.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna agree because that's all I've heard about too, and how immersed he was in the role. So yeah, I'll say Evan Peters. That's
okay, great.
Pick. Best Actress in a Limited or Anthology Series or TV Movie. I have Lizzie Kaplan for Fleischman is in Trouble, Jessica Chastain for George and Tammy, Dominique. Is it Dominique or Dominic? Dominique?
I think it's Dominique.
Fishback for Swarm, Catherine Hahn for Tiny Beautiful Things, Riley Keough for Daisy Jones and the Six, and Ali Wong for Beef. For what it's worth, I love Catherine Hahn, just across the board. You figured out my type, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I have heard a lot. Ali Wong, sort of skipping over the beef. I keep calling it the beef. Every time I see beef.
That's because that's the name of the thing in the bear. Yeah. It's the name of the place.
Yeah. So every time I keep seeing beef, I'm like, oh, it's the beef. I keep thinking of the bear. I will say I've heard a lot of good things about Ali Wong in Beef. So.
Okay. I've heard same for Ali Wong in Beef, but I've also heard Catherine Hahn in Tiny Beautiful Things is incredible. Riley Keough and Daisy Jones and the Six was great. I loved that book. I loved watching the series. She was very good. She was very accurate to the book's portrayal. But if we're going to pick best actress in this situation, I'm going to go Catherine Hunter Ellie Wong.
Okay. I'm with you.
Best limited or anthology series. We've got Beef on Netflix.
Yep.
Yeah. Dahmer Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story on Netflix. Daisy Jones and the Six on Prime Video. Fleischman is in Trouble on FX. And Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney+. I loved Obi-Wan Kenobi. Awesome. People don't think I'm a liar. When we did the Star Wars thing, I had never seen a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
My fiance has made me watch every one of the Disney Plus shows. So I've seen them all Mandalorians, all shoots off. Oh, wait, I'm lying. I did not see Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's the one. No, I did not see that one.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, I did not. I saw Andor. Book of Boba Fett.
Yes.
And all the Mandalorians. Obi-Wan Kenobi, we have not watched.
Okay, fair.
Okay. I'm picking Dahmer.
Yeah, ditto. I think that's an easy one.
Okay.
We can move on.
Great.
Best supporting actress in a comedy series. This is a big one. Alex Borstein for The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Ayo. How do you pronounce her name?
Ayo Edebiri?
Yeah. Ayo Edebiri. Okay, I'll take it. For The Bear, Janelle James for Abbott Elementary. Cheryl Lee Ralph for Abbott Elementary. Juno Temple for Ted Lasso, Hannah Waddingham for Ted Lasso, and Jessica Williams for Shrinking. I gotta slow down. The Bear, never pronounce her name properly, but she sucked me in from episode 1. Love her, totally deserves it. I want to see more of her everywhere. She's my pick. I know it's tough. I'm gonna step back and think about how everyone's gonna vote while you make your pick, but that's my pick.
My pick is Hannah Waddingham for Ted Lasso. And there's many reasons. That's my personal pick.
Yeah.
Who do I think they're going to pick? And I still love it. I would not hate if any single one of these women on here won. They're all incredible. Also, Shrinking, I haven't watched it, but one of our listeners messaged me today and asked that we watch that and do an episode on it. So I have to get to that one. But Hannah Waddingham, I think, or even Juno Temple, because it was the last season. And if they are, I don't know. I just feel like there's nostalgia in those situations, And I love Alex Borstein, and I know The Marvelous Miss Maisel is done. But stand out acting like blew your fucking socks off, Ayo Edebiri. I really hope I'm saying her name right.
Yeah. I mean, I'll follow your lead because I don't do any better. But I will say she's who I want to win. I think they'll vote for Hannah Waddingham.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Fair. Your turn in messing up names now.
Perfect. Best supporting actor in a series.
This is
Anthony
easy.
Kerrigan and Barry.
Yeah.
This whole list, I want everyone to win. Phil Dunster for Ted Lasso, Brett Goldstein for Ted Lasso, James Marsden for Jury Duty, Eben Moss Backrack for The Bear, Tyler James Williams for Abbott Elementary, and Henry Winkler for Barry.
So guys, I read Anthony Kerrigan.
Guys.
And I was like, done. I don't want to read the rest of the list.
It's going to be Henry Winkler.
Yeah.
It has to be Henry Winkler.
Yeah. Who doesn't love Henry Winkler?
And here's the thing. That is me passing, I am obsessed with the first 3 names on this list. James Marsden, of course. But I'm going, and Tyler James Williams in Abbott Elementary. Again, a show that I've not watched beginning to end, but I've watched episodes here and there. Fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's going to be Henry Winkler.
Yeah. I mean, it upsets me too, but it's going to be Henry Winkler. I shouldn't say upsets me, but it's such a packed list that it's there was others down the list here where I was like, it's that done. Let's move on real quick. Who would I can make a top 6 list of who I want to win in this category, but and also just a side note, by the way, love that Tyler James Williams is seeing second successful TV series that he gets to star in. Good for him. But yeah, I gotta say it. I mean, I also think Henry Winkler's gonna
hate what's going to happen soon. I hate it.
What?
I want to have sex with everyone on this list in the next category.
Right.
So do you.
Yeah, it's true. So we're best actor in a comedy series. Oh, wait, we have official, we all just agree Henry Winkler, right?
Henry Winkler, yeah.
All right. Best actor in a comedy series, we have Bill Hader for Barry. We have Martin Short for Only Murders in the Building. Jason Segel for Shrinking. Jason Sudeikis for Ted Lasso. And Jeremy Allen White for The Bear.
Oh, my God, I love him.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm so conflicted.
Yeah. I am. I'm staring
Jason
at the list.
Sudeikis is done for Ted Lasso. We know that. He has made that very clear. He's not coming back. Whether the show continues on in a world without him, I don't think he's coming back.
Yeah.
For that reason, I think they will pick him.
Here's my theory though. Even in like the way I try to think of how the voters vote. He won last year, right? As recently as last year. Now, I don't know if we were kind of critical of the final-ish season again.
More than me. Let's point this out.
Yeah.
More than me.
I'll take it. But for the fact that I think, and I know I'm not alone in that critique, by the way, to be clear, I
disagree with you, but okay.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'm on the higher end of the spectrum. I'm on the far. I'm not going to say left or right. I'm on the far side of the.
Don't do it.
I partially agree with you, but the fact that he won last year and had his moments, I don't necessarily think they're like, oh, we have to pay respect to him. We have to give it to him because he said goodbye to the character.
That's fair.
That said, so if I take that out of the equation, as much as we love Barry, I don't know if the rest of the voting academy has as much affection and respect for what Bill Hader did with that role. My final answer here, and this is gonna be a real. I don't know if you expect this one coming.
Martin Short.
No, Jeremy Allen White for the Bear.
That's right here. So I would pick.
The reason I'm saying that, by the way, right? You list everyone else on the list: Bill Hader, Martin Short, Jason Segel, and Jason Sudeikis. Not that Jeremy Allen White was like a brand new actor, right? But I think he's finally hitting like a whoa, look at this guy coming out of nowhere kind of moment. And so I think, especially now, because you remember, again, thinking about how people actually vote for this, they're voting between now and through the summer. So with that being said, right now the show is really hot in the second season, and I feel like it's going to be the Bear. Jeremy Allen White.
I would love that.
Because of he's on the Bear. Yeah.
I would love it.
Take us to the actresses.
Best Actress in a Comedy Series. We've got Christina Applegate in Dead to Me, Rachel Brosnahan in The Marvelous Miss Maisel, Quinta Brunson in Abbott Elementary, Natasha Lyonne in Poker Face, and Jenna Ortega in Wednesday. Now, Christina Applegate, do you know that story? That's a great show, by the way, if you haven't watched Dead to Me. Yeah. She got really sick with MS, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't think she was going to be able to do the show.
Yeah.
She didn't think she was going to be able to do the show. And she did it. She finished the show. She fucking killed it. That show was hilarious.
Yeah.
Rachel Brosnahan, The Marvelous Miss Maisel, she's incredible. We all know that. Yeah. But she's also been around, and we kind of, I don't know if we talked about this on air or on the podcast, but for us, The Marvelous Miss Maisel, great show. We loved it. Just kind of stopped caring about it.
Yeah.
Maybe it went on one season too long. Maybe two seasons too long.
In the zeitgeist of things, that show had a series finale, and so did all these other shows. And I almost complained that people didn't pay enough attention to Barry. We forgot that Marvelous Mrs. Maisel ended. It was like, oh, wait, did it end? And like no one really paid attention. So
agreed.
Again, nothing against Rachel, right? Good show, put everything into it, yada yada
Absolutely.
yada. But I will say too, and this is a weird one too. I feel like the Academy tends to not vote for the younger faces, especially in a category like this where you have like Christina Applegate and up against Jenna Ortega. I will say, I think Jenna Ortega did amazing in this. And then also Quinta Brunson.
I know.
I don't know.
Now, here's the thing. I have not watched Poker Face, but I have heard it is explosively good. And Natasha Lyonne is just like stealing the goddamn show.
What sold it for me? You know what sold it for me on that show, by the way?
What?
Is when someone described or compared the show to something.
Columbo?
They're like, it's Columbo with Natasha Lyonne as Columbo, basically. I've also heard great things. And you know how I feel about, what's his name, who made the show.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. I feel like Christina Applegate, I think she might get her flowers because I don't think that she can act anymore. Her MS has progressed so intensely. And and if she does, it's going to be like a guest spot here or there. I don't think she's ever going to be able to star in anything ever again. Yeah. And the medication she was on, she said, made her gain a lot of weight. And gaining a lot of weight with MS causes more pain. and that kind of stuff. So I don't know if acting is in the cards anymore for her. I could be completely wrong. She's a fucking badass and she could do anything.
She could do anything. I didn't see the show. Yeah. All right. So I'll agree with you. Yeah.
Okay.
Was this you or me? I can't remember.
This one's you.
This one?
Next one's you.
This one. Okay. Best comedy series. We have Abbott Elementary on ABC, Barry on HBO, The Bear on FX, Jury Duty on Amazon Freevee, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel on Prime Video, Only Murders in the Building on Hulu, Ted Lasso on Apple TV Plus, and Wednesday on Netflix. This is a tough category. And also, it's just so funny because you have like the laugh out loud like shows versus like, you know, things like The Bear or Marvelous Mrs. Maisel or aren't necessarily like, ha ha ha, this is a comedy. Like
even Wednesday. Not really.
Yeah.
You're not laughing the whole time. I fucking loved it, but I'm not laughing the whole time.
Yeah. Man, I gotta say, by the way, just as an aside, as I'm reading it, and this sort of leans into where I'm going, I gotta feel bad a little bit for Abbott Elementary, who is this like good breakout show. Like, been described to me as like, hey, if you missed The Office and like 30 Rock and all these other shows that were like real smart, sharp comedies, watch Abbott Elementary. And how are they going to win awards when like, you know, like strong contenders who are like having their series finale is what they're up against in these categories.
Yeah.
So
I hope that they get some because it's a really incredible show and it's very fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I think we've caught on to something. Again, I will say Jury Duty, so interesting.
Yeah.
It would be really cool if they won. Kind of flew under the radar and exploded.
Yeah.
Wednesday was incredible, but comedy series is weird for me for Wednesday for some reason. I mean, I don't know.
It was Ted weird Lasso category stuff, yeah.
Yeah, Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
I have a feeling they're going with The Bear, though.
I do too. That's the one where it's like, even though you're up against some veterans in this category, The Bear has broken out a little bit so much that people really enjoy it. And like think the attention to detail with like the foodie stuff has sort of earned them enough respect where people were like, oh, no, that's actually the best one. Aside from that, my personal pick would have been Barry. We talked about it in the episode, but like I personally think it was one of the best series finales and final seasons in general and how much detail was put into it. But honestly, I feel like they might vote for a new one. I think they might go for The Bear. So that's going to be my pick for who they'll vote for. But personal pick would be Barry.
Okay.
So this is a good category. I'm excited. I'm excited for this one.
It's me.
Yeah.
Best Supporting Actress in a Drama Series. We have our girl, Jennifer Coolidge for The White Lotus, Elizabeth Debicki for The Crown, Megan Fahey for The White Lotus, Sabrina Imperatori for The White Lotus, Aubrey Plaza, The White Lotus.
Yeah.
Rhea Seehorn, Better Call Saul, J. Smith Cameron for Succession, and Simona Tabasco for The White Lotus. This is stacked. I don't know.
Can I just tell you something? I know who it's going to be.
Okay, go.
But I'm angry about it. And here's why. Okay. This is another one where it's like, oh, man, this is like, you know, it's like that scene in The Good Son when, you know, Macaulay Culkin is hanging there. And it's like, do I let go of, you know, like, who do I let go of?
The darkest scene ever.
I mean, I know she had it last year, but I feel like people loved her so much out of it. I think they're going to go with Jennifer Coolidge, right? That said, in the final season of Better Call Saul, Rhea Seehorn.
I knew, like, I just want you to know that I knew that all of the things coming out of your mouth were going to come out of the mouth before they said them. So keep going.
But Rhea Seehorn, for anyone that did actually watch the show, everyone like was literally like sat back in their chairs. I'm like, oh, she deserves an Emmy. Like hands down, like her portrayal of a very complicated person who was integral to the titular character. She absolutely deserves it. Will she get it? They're going to give it to Jennifer Coolidge, but I want to be proven wrong. And for what it's worth, I think if it's not Jennifer Coolidge, it's me being angry at Academy voters. I don't think they'll still pick Rhea Seehorn because Succession and White Lotus are so up there that
Agreed.
it's a hard category in general.
Yeah.
Like they need to they need to make a new category called Best Supporting Actress in Better Call Saul and leave her alone and just let her have it. But
okay,
and also,
so
discount, by the way,
I'll give her my vote too.
Right, and not to discount, by the way, because Jerry from Succession is also nominated, right?
And she's incredible. She did a great job.
Incredible. So it's a tough category. I just say this is one of those, like, give them all a trophy. They all win. Every kid gets a trophy. But I think, honestly, knowing how they do, and again, remember last year's Emmys? The only thing I remember from it is Jennifer Coolidge's speech.
Yeah.
Where she's like, my neighbors invite me to parties now. Like, everyone was like, now they're just like, they're not voting because, I mean, again, I don't know. I'm going to keep going. They're going to vote for Jennifer Coolidge. Well, I'll put money on it easily. So.
Okay.
All right. Best Supporting Actor in a Drama Series. All right. So you have F. Michael Murray from The White Lotus, Nicholas Braun from Succession, Michael Imperioli for The White Lotus, Theo James from White Lotus, Matthew McFadden from Succession, Alan Ruck from Succession, Will Sharp from The White Lotus, and Alexander Skarsgård for Succession. Who's your pick, and who do you think?
It's weird to me that, like, don't get me wrong, Alexander Skarsgård, great, he did great in The White Lotus, but he wasn't like a supporting actor to me. He would be more like a Succession. Sorry, he would be more like a guest actor.
Yeah.
Like, supporting actor to me is not. He doesn't belong there. But whatever.
Yeah.
Nicholas Braun. I mean, that's my pick. That's
who
my
doesn't
pick.
love cousin.
He's awesome
cousin
too, like as a person. So
is he?
I don't know. Yeah, like very cool, laid back. Like you could hang out with him in the city. He goes to dive bars and drinks. Like you could just walk in there and he's there. Michael Imperioli, also incredible in The White Lotus. Theo James, complete asshole in The White Lotus. Matthew McFadden, like
how do you
every
skip over
single
Matthew McFadden?
But like every single one of these guys could win, but I just don't. I don't know. I don't know.
By the way, just to throw this out there, I literally, like, after watching Succession, walked around speaking like Matthew McFadden, trying to do an American accent for like a month, where I was just over enunciating, like just like infectious. I gotta say too, I mean, because remember, like, for what it's worth, half the voters here are women, right?
That to me is supporting actor.
Yeah.
Like Alexander Skarsgård's not a supporting actor in a drama series.
That's like by technicality, and the fact that he, submitted himself, because they have to submit themselves, I believe. The fact that
I will say this though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Since we're talking about Succession.
Yeah.
Deeply right now. Yeah. Nicholas Braun, from what I could tell from interviews, basically played himself.
Yeah.
Where Matthew McFadden, he truly like acted his fucking pants off.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. You were skipping over him. You're like, Cousin Greg. And I'm like,
Cousin Greg.
Me?
Okay, so let's just go Matthew McFadden.
Okay. All right. There we go. Oh, this is you because I remember. Yeah. Yep.
Best Actress in a Drama Series. We have Sharon Horgan in Bad Sisters, Melanie Linsky in Yellow Jackets, Elizabeth Moss in The Handmaid's Tale, Bella Ramsey in The Last of Us, Kerry Russell in The Diplomat, and Sarah Snook in Succession. Now, again.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Moss in The Handmaid's Tale is just, she's fucking incredible every year, but she's won a lot for that show, right?
Yeah.
Bella Ramsey stole the fucking show in The Last of Us. Like, really stole the show. And I apologize because I believe they go by they, them pronouns, not she, her. So I do apologize. But I have not watched it. Mm-hmm. Everyone is saying Kerry Russell in The Diplomat is
out of
control.
I was going to disagree with you right away because, I mean, from what I've heard, I agree with you but the critiques I have heard is that because she's done, The Americans and she's done a bunch of other series, and everything I've heard is she's great in it. Amazing. But she was much better than The Americans. So there's almost like a contrast comparison of like, she was better in the other shows. I mean, for me, absolutely. And I think this is how they'll vote. I think it'll be Sarah Snook. I think they're going to go with Sarah Snook. Yeah,
she was fucking nutso.
Yeah.
Bella Ramsey, I would be pumped if they won, but
yeah. And for what it's worth, agree on Bella Ramsey. That said, especially remembering how the series ended, Sarah Snook. So that was the lasting impression. We're almost there. Best actor in a drama series. You have Jeff Bridges for The Old Man, Brian Cox for Succession, Kieran Culkin for Succession, Bob Odenkirk for Better Call Saul, Pedro Pascal for The Last of Us, and Jeremy Strong for Succession. Let me explain to you how angry I am that Succession had to end this year alongside Better Call Saul, because I wanted to see Mr. Bob Odenkirk walk on that stage and accept his award. He's not going to, because Succession happened this year, and that's the only reason why.
Yeah, that sucks. He deserves it.
Throw a curveball. I'm going to throw another curveball at you.
Okay, I'm ready.
He does. I'm going to say they're going to vote Kieran Culkin.
I agree.
Really?
I agree. Kieran Culkin, again, another person that kind of played a version of themselves in Succession. That like high energy. That's kind of who Kieran Culkin is.
Yeah.
He's been around for a while, but he hasn't been breakout.
Yeah.
But now that he is like a cult following.
Yeah.
And now here's the thing. You guys know I love me some Pedro all day, every day. But I think because Succession is done and Kieran Culkin's character at the end really, like, poor Jeremy Strong. I'm sorry, but the way that the show ended, he doesn't stand a chance. I think it's Kieran Culkin.
Really?
I do. I agree with you 100%. People are obsessed with him, and I see him everywhere now. He hasn't gone away. We're not seeing Jeremy Strong anywhere. His face isn't on roundtable discussions. He's not on Hot Ones. Like all these things that we're seeing Kieran Culkin do. Yeah. So because they get to vote through the summer, I have a feeling I'm going to agree with you on this.
Well, I mean, also thinking back about the final season and some of the scenes he played in that were very dramaturgically. I mean, for what it's worth, I think, the final season of Succession especially became the Jeremy Strong show, not to discount Brian Cox, who I think is going to very easily pick something up and throw it at the wall and break it when he doesn't win. But I don't think he's going to win, especially for the fact that he was only in 3 episodes anyway.
Yeah.
I think the voters will go Jeremy Strong because I think they're just voting blind and they're not necessarily latching on.
Okay.
But I also believe, my personal opinion is I think that Kieran Culkin should win.
Okay.
That discounts Bob Odenkirk. To be clear, my thinking is I think Bob Odenkirk did a great job. And I will say he is very evenly matched against the others in this category. Again, that said, I think, you know what? No. I'm going to change my opinion. I think you're right. I think they're going to vote Kieran Culkin. I'm going to go there. Okay. I mean, it's funny because that's a tough, what do they call it? I kept hearing this word over and over again when it was like the second to last episode of every show. What is it called? Like it's the second to last thing?
Penultimate?
Yes, the penultimate category is going to be an interesting one to watch. So
it definitely is.
You get to do the honors
finale.
For the finale.
Okay. The best drama series. We have Andor on Disney Plus, Better Call Saul on AMC, The Crown on Netflix, House of the Dragon on HBO Max, The Last of Us HBO Max, Succession HBO Max, The White Lotus HBO Max, and Yellow Jackets on Showtime. Okay. I watched The Crown, the season, incredible.
Yeah.
The way they did Princess Diana, beautiful. Not in the running. House of the Dragon, fucking obsessed. Loved it. Any other year, might have a chance.
I was going to say, this is the first category they've popped up in this entire time, right?
And Andor was great.
Yeah.
Doesn't stand a chance.
Yeah.
I've heard Yellow Jackets. Shout out to our special guest, Kyle. He loves that show. He says it's great. We would love it. The White Lotus, I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's got a chance. I think it's coming down to Succession and The Last of Us. And I do think they're going to give it to Succession.
I do too. I mean, It's funny. So out of this list, you have Better Call Saul. Is The Crown ending?
No.
Okay, that's okay.
I think they'll end when the Queen dies.
Yep.
I think that's where they're going to end.
I was going to say, I mean, Better Call Saul and Succession both had series finales. I think Better Call Saul is going to get overlooked. I think I said it too across this. It's like they're going to get swept over all the categories.
I really hope they win something just for you. I really hope them and Barry. I hope they do.
Yeah,
I really do.
But for what it's worth, too, and I'll throw this out there because I never said it out loud, but I will say I think this wasn't necessarily, it was the final season. And I had the same feeling about some of the other shows we talked about. But I will say, I don't think this was the strongest season of Better Call Saul. I think it was, I think their earlier seasons were way stronger. That said, yeah, the voters tend to lean into who's saying goodbye, who will never get a chance at an award again. Yeah, but even in years past, especially in comedy categories, this is drama, obviously, but in comedy categories, they sort of don't even care. Like, there was a lot of shows going off the air that never got their award in their final season. But, think about the build up to it. Think about, everything. And I'm going to say, I think Succession's going to take it.
It was so dramatic. Like, it was just so, it like, the whole world collectively was like, oh my God, Succession's over. What do we do now with our lives?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where it's going to end up. Yeah.
To the point, again, sister podcast Instinct did an episode on Yellow Jackets as well. The White Lotus, I think it was like one of their the best seasons they had. But yeah, I agree with you. I think it's, I think it's going to be Succession. I would have loved to see Better Call Saul win something, but again, I think it's going to be Succession. So it's what everyone talked about. We all talked about it.
Agreed. I think that this is going to be Succession in The Last of Us show. I think there might be some outliers, but not many.
Yeah. So that's it. That's our picks.
That's it.
What do you think?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I never watch these shows. I always watch people's speeches the next day.
I'll tell you the next day who won. It'll be fun.
I will have seen it at midnight on TikTok. So
okay.
But now that we've done this episode, I'll probably fucking watch it. Oh, who am I kidding? I'll be working. I don't have a life. I'll be working. I don't have a fucking life at all. But if I'm not, I will watch it.
Yeah.
Wait, when is it? When does this air?
September 18th on Fox.
September 18th.
Yeah.
I'll make time for it.
Yeah. Now, that said, by the way, just to throw this out there, because we're literally recording this on the eve of everything happening, but if there are some SAG-AFTRA strikes,
oh shit!
Which
right.
By the time you're hearing this, either happened or didn't happen, but that might potentially delay the award ceremony. So as of right now, as of the recording of this, it is September 18th. So
okay, we'll see.
Yeah. So we'll see.
We shall see.
Yeah, if you guys had different picks, if you disagree with us and you were yelling at your...
I think we need to throw up the Jeopardy poll.
All right, yeah. It's going to be really controversial.
Very angry, yes.
Very mad, but awesome. Cool, we'll see you in September for the results. We'll see you next time.
Sounds good. Bye.
Bye.
Nice buns, soft, fluffy, and ultra-low net carbs. Discover Hero Bread, the delicious ultra-low net carb bread with incredible taste and texture. Hero Bread has 0 grams of sugar and is under 100 calories per serving. Plus, high in fiber with 5 to 10 grams of protein per serving. Order from hero.co now and get 10% off your first purchase with promo code AH10. That's 10% off with code AH10. HERO.co.